Hi everybody, welcome back or welcome if you are new. It has been a while. It has been a while since I posted any videos. I have gotten delayed on a lot of things and not had a lot of energy to do much of anything. I am, of course, as I've repeated several times in the past, trying to get back on track, and that is kind of what I'm trying to do right now. I am a little late. It is month-end close at work. Things are happening. Floods are happening in my area of Houston right now, so I am high and dry, thankfully, but I am thinking about everybody that is having to suffer right now with all the rain that just keeps getting dumped on North Houston and areas north of us, and then it slowly comes down, and that's what's causing a lot of the flooding. Is it dumps the rain up north, and then in the rivers and everything it comes down here. And yes, so I mean, to the point where yesterday I was getting public service announcements on my phone and even a call last night saying that some of the areas in my location that are closer to the two rivers that kind of come, you know, meet up. I live in this area and two rivers meet up and dump into a lake, and a man-made lake, let's put it that way, man-made lake. And we're getting notices that there are voluntary evacuations along those areas that tend to flood all the time when we get a lot of rain. And then also it's like, if you choose to stay, prepare to shelter in place for the next 3 days. Like I said, I am right now high and dry. Well, ground is soggy, I should put it that way, because we've had a lot of rain. So far, so good. But we still have a couple more days of rain coming up, especially next week. So it's just like, anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the last 2 weeks on my budget. The end of April kind of got away from me, I will admit it. There was a lot of traveling back and forth to visit some friends on the other side of town, and then several days where I was going into work because we are training, or I am training our new employee, and I needed to be in the office for that. However, the last 2 days I have not been in the office because I didn't want to drive in all the rain and get stuck in any floodwaters or any of that, or get stuck on the other side of the river and not able to get home to my cats. So priorities. But let's go ahead and look down at the thing. I've already written out everything. This is the month-end review and all of that, plus a little check-in for what's happened in the last 2 weeks. For those of you that are new, my name is Charlotte. I have a single income. It is just me and lots of cats. I have 3 inside cats, and then I feed all the neighborhood strays that just come to my yard, along with possums and the raccoons every once in a while, and the occasional box turtle that rolls in or crawls in from the bayous. You know, it is what it is. But that is kind of where we are basing my budget. I am trying to pay off debt. I started off the month with $5,000, over $5,000 in debt, and I have slowly been working that down through the years and trying to be debt free and all of that by the end of this year. So let's go ahead and take a look at what is going on in my budget notebook. Okay, starting off here on this, I am tracking all of my expenses and everything with these little color-coded trackers. I kind of have a little key right here on this card. It is hard to read it, but it is in colored ink and everything. And let's go ahead and start checking in for the 18th through the 30th of this month. So, entertainment, I bought an app, on a game app, that to get rid of the ads on the app. I then also went ahead, and my Apple Care on my iMac was finally expiring from when I bought my computer in 2020. So I went ahead and said, okay, let's go ahead and renew it, because as soon as I get rid of Apple Care, my computer will break down on me. So I went ahead and did the subscription and everything. Then we have a couple household expenses throughout here. Oh, there's another business expense down here. Amazon, I bought some stuff technically for not YouTube or any of that, but for the day job that I have. It was little plastic envelope things that I can carry back and forth with me to kind of like section off some tasks that I have. My desk at work got really busy, and with the training and everything, I'm just kind of like, let's put these things in an order, and I just didn't want it file folders because having to carry them back and forth, because I work part-time from home, part-time from the office, so I carry them back and forth with me and everything. So I bought that. Going on into household, we have $37.88. We have another Amazon $78.31, and another one over here that was actually on the 29th for $14.02. Then we have one gift. My older sister's birthday was in April, so I bought her, it's a painting kit from Painting to Go, and Go is spelled like Van Gogh, or so that's kind of why. Van Gogh, the G-O-G-H part of it, and I know I'm not saying it the right way, but so that was $57. And then let's go ahead and move into, I believe these are personal, so lots of personal for this. I'm buying supplements and other facial cleansers, products, all of that type of stuff. So we have one for $73.65, $104.03, $31.26, $79.90, and $15.43 down here. Then bills, we have sinking funds. I did $18.15 there, and then Netflix was $12.98. Apple Premiere or Apple One, $40.61, and then a chiropractor for $38. Next, anything in red are things towards debt. So I paid, actually it's not paid, well technically it is paid, but it didn't come out of my checking account. It came back from reward points on the business credit card. So I had 508 points, which equals out to $5.08. And then we paid the loan for the equipment for my home security system. So that was $62.25 as well. Because the month got away from me, I did not pay any more towards debt in April. So my bad. But you know, things happen, and I will just try to make it up throughout the rest of the months. I think I did a fairly good job last month with paying a lot towards debt. So it's kind of like, I'm okay with not paying as much as I had planned to pay. Okay, household, we've done those. I forgot, did I say home security? I don't remember, but that's for the monitoring of the home security system. And then we have some more dining because I did go out this past weekend to visit some friends again, and I was in the office this week as well. So dining, I got a burger, I got breakfast tacos, then over here I got ramen and a coffee when I went to the other side of town to visit my friend for a concert. No, it was a movie concert. It was aespa. If anybody knows K-pop stuff, it was aespa's like grand world tour movie thing where they kind of talked about their world tour, did a couple songs and stuff like that from the world tour and everything. Carrying on over here, groceries, I went to Walmart, $13.34, and Aldi, $76.06 over here. We have one more pet fee for $5.16, and then I also had to fill up with gas, so $50.31. And that ends this month, and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, 10, 11 no spend days. I really wasn't in a no spend month, but that I forgot to put the stickers on these 2 days, but I'll put them down later at some point. Okay, carrying on, here are the weekly check-ins. I checked in on groceries, household, and miscellaneous. And here is the actual budget and everything. I do not share my actual income from my day job, but I do have I kind of budget lower than I'm actually getting paid. So I kind of do share like the overage over here. And usually I tend to try to use this overage for paying off debt and everything. Some of this additional income is stuff that I transferred from sinking funds over to cover some of the other expenses and stuff like that that are in here. So crafts total for the month, we paid $725, budgeted $50. Electric, we budgeted $150 and spent $72.69. Entertainment, we budgeted $50 and spent $757. Fuel auto, this is anything to do like with getting gas for the car. I also do the toll passes for the car, the toll road stuff. So I budget $100, but because I was driving across town a couple times this month, I had to fill up more with gas, and I had an extra toll road taken out because one of the toll roads that I drove on one day cost almost $24, maybe more. So went through my tolls fairly quickly. So budgeted $100 and spent $154.17. Groceries, I budgeted $400 and spent $341.72. Household, I budgeted $100. I spent $703.67. Miscellaneous, I always budget $0, and I ended up spending $1528.10, so $1,528.10. Natural gas, I budgeted $35. I spent $29.75. Personal, I budgeted $100. I ended up spending $304 because I bought a lot of stuff, unfortunately. I also had to buy a lot of, I was out of Excedrin, ibuprofen, feminine products. I'm trying to think. It was, everything pretty much I was out of. So it was time to stock up on all of that. Pet supplies, I budget $350. That's for cat food and any extra things. And I ended up spending $320.29. Restaurants, I budgeted $15 and I spent $147.18. Who knew, going back over here, who knew that ramen would cost $29.97? And I did buy a passion fruit green tea while I was there, and it was really good. But who knew that ramen would cost $29? But it does, apparently, in some locations. Sinking funds, I did my normal $18.15, but then I added in some more because of I needed to transfer some money over, and I have a little note right here. I did get some income that I needed to put towards my business sinking fund, so it's, I'm just saving it for when I have to pay for subscriptions and things like that and all of that. So I did get some rebates on something, so it went to business income, $6.58. Not much, but it is something. And then the other $180, I think, went into my summer bills basically, and that is getting the electric. I take the budgeted amount minus the actual and get the remaining, and I total the remaining for electric, natural gas, and water. Get that and transfer it to my summer bills sinking fund, so that way in the summer when my bills get higher, because I'm in Houston, it gets hot here in the summer. So my electric bill is always, $200 or more during the summertime. So I actually am able to budget it, because with my electric being budgeted for $150, it's, that can add up fairly quickly. So that was the additional money that went into the sinking funds. Water. We'll have a story time at the end of this to talk about water, because this has been an ongoing thing going on, but we finally have it resolved. So I will talk about this at the very end of the video. But I didn't have to pay anything towards water for this month. Extra to debt, I only did the $5.08. That was the reward point things and all of that. So some things that I noticed that did not come out this month, and I'm not quite sure why they didn't, but Kindle Unlimited, that might have been, I might have put it against an Amazon thing and I just didn't see it. Recognize it as Kindle Unlimited, I'm not quite sure. And for some reason, my automatic transfer to my emergency fund did not happen this month. So I had to reset it up. It's like it was not in there anymore to have an automatic transfer. I don't think I actually had a date for it to stop. So I'm kind of like, huh? I've had this set up for years and I don't understand why it just stopped. So I've reset it up again and I will continue. We'll just not have any money go in this past month and just figure it out going forward. Then we have some things that did come out of sinking funds. I got Thrive Market. It was a subscription that I am going to cancel because I only used it this one time when I resubscribed, and I never used it previously. So a lot of the food on there I can actually get a little bit cheaper in the stores here than off Thrive Market. So that was kind of a little shock to me when I realized that. We had the Q1 payment for my trash that came out. I also bought stuff to do the window screens and caulking, which I have yet to do. Again, no energy, and I'm trying to get back there where I have the energy to do that. I bought my plane ticket, so $500 came out for vacation, or came out to pay the plane ticket, and then again the gift for my older sister right here. Here's where my sinking funds are ending for this month, and yes, it seems like I'm tracking a lot because I am, because I need to have it kind of micro budgeted in here, and by that I have one fund that is completely for the house, but it includes the taxes for the house, the homeowners association, and the trails in my area, the insurance for the house, maintenance, and any refreshes that I want to do in the rooms. And I put that all in one category, but I also don't want to, I'm going to budget for home refreshes or room refreshes, and I don't want to overspend what I have and pull out of the other stuff when I know I'm going to have to pay taxes and insurance and everything at the end of the year. So for those of you that are new, I own my house. I live in the house that I grew up in, and I purchased it from my mom last year, 2022, somewhere around there. So I think I've had it a full year. So I just purchased it. So I'm trying to make the house my own house and all of that, since it is the house that I grew up in. But that's why I am basically paying myself my mortgage or rent or whatever you want to call it. So I'm paying myself the taxes and the trails and the insurance, maintenance, and all of that to make sure that, I can actually, afford the house when it comes around to needing that stuff. I also do the same thing for car, where I have subcategories of inspection and registration, insurance, and the maintenance for the car. And for my subscriptions, I have yearly subscriptions for Amazon, Quicken, and Viki, which is the platform I watch my Asian dramas on. It is kind of like Netflix or Hulu or any of those, but it is aimed more for Asian dramas. And then I have a category for other that the Thrive subscription came out of, as you can see right there. And then we have vet, vacation, trash, and when I first started doing sinking funds, I really only had one for car insurance and summer bills. And I've slowly grown this out a lot more to be able to afford the things. So when I noticed what I was actually spending money on and everything. Now going into the debt, we still have credit card 1 and 2 are paid off. Business credit card started off with $3,896.33. I paid $305.08. And then we had one charge and interest applied to this. So we are ending with $3,695.68. Home security loan started off with the $1,307.25. I paid the minimum payment on this because I'm trying to focus on paying the business credit card first, because business credit card has an interest rate, whereas the home security equipment loan does not have does not have an interest rate. It is 0%. So whatever I paid towards it actually gets deducted off of the principal. So we're ending that with $1,245. Total, I am now $4,940.68 in debt. So we have broke down finally, and we are below $5,000. So that is good. Then down here we have savings trackers, which is different than sinking funds. These are kind of like my emergency funds to the emergency funds, and then my retirement, which I have blocked off because I don't feel like I don't want to share those with you guys, but I do share the total numbers of everything down here. So emergency fund, this is connected to my checking account, and it is if I need to do something very quickly, it is easy for me to get access to it. The money market and the high yield savings accounts are in another bank, so they are not easy to get to. It takes at least 3 days to transfer the money over into my checking account. So I'm hoping that I never have to spend more than $1,400 on anything that's an emergency. If so, I'm usually going to put it on credit card number 2, just so I, because it's easy enough for me to pay that off from these accounts and everything. So money market is the emergency fund to the emergency fund, let's put it that way. And basically the money market and the high yield savings account are the ones that I am using for if I lose my job. Will I be able to live with this type of budget over here without cutting anything off of any of it? So that's what this is. I want to have at least 3 months. I think I'm at 2 months and like a couple weeks. I'm trying to get up to 3 months, but it does take some time, especially since I'm not actually putting any money towards these. The only one I was putting money towards was the emergency fund, and obviously it only did 1 cent, and that is why I have the other ones where they have higher interest rates on them. Then we have cash envelopes. I don't really track cash envelopes. And then we have business budget. So I have YouTube that is not making any money. I currently don't have enough watch hours, and it doesn't help that I haven't been posting anything for you guys to watch. Editing, I do have a written editing business as well. It is currently not making any money. And then Amazon, and then I also threw in here rebates. So I do have like KDP and Amazon affiliate, and I have yet to get paid on that, but then I throw rebates in here. And eventually I am going to be working on trying to set up an Etsy shop and all of that to do my stickers like this and do some other things as well. So that should be done sometime later this year. I just don't quite have a timeline for it at this moment because I'm still trying to figure out my day job with the new responsibilities and now a new hire and all of that. Eventually I will go back to where I'm not overwhelmed with work like I have been, and be able to actually have like the brain capacity to deal with to start doing some of this stuff. Some things that did come out, we mentioned these in the monthly thing, but I had office supply, which is over here, $7.57. That was for the little plastic envelopes, and then the $64.94 for Apple Care. And then we have website security for the editing business. That is the normal bill that happens every single month, and so that's over here. So, and then shows the income for the rebates over here. So that is it for April. I have yet to even start on May. I haven't even done anything over here yet. It is a blank slate, which is always good to try to figure it out and all of that. Okay, so story time. Let's see. August of last year. Actually, it was September of last year. Or was it? I'm trying to think. It was the end of August, beginning of September. I got my bill for August that showed what water usage I used in August, and it said I used 16,000 gallons. One individual, a couple cats, no pool, no leaks, no irrigation system, no sprinkler system, and 16,000 gallons. So I started doing some investigative research and all of this, and I went and did the meter check to make sure that there's not any leaks. There were no leaks when I checked all of that. So then I'm like, okay, I have a 5-gallon bucket. Let me go fill the 5-gallon bucket up and see how much the meter is reading and all of this. And I then filled up the bucket, like took a picture of the meter, filled up the 5-gallon bucket, went back to the meter, took a picture, and it said I used 20 gallons to fill up a 5-gallon bucket. So I knew something was wrong at that point. So I did contact the city and talk to their customer service and ask for a meter recheck, just, you know, start the whole process through. So the next week they had a technician come out, reread the meter. Come to find out, he read it wrong. He actually added more gallons than he should have. It was like 1 digit off, and luckily I saw him, and after he left I went out and took a picture of the meter at that point, because a week or 2 later I was like, okay, what's going on? I haven't heard back from anybody. So I called back and talked to another customer service representative and explained the whole situation and said I did call for a meter recheck and all of this. So she saw all the records for all of that. And she's like, okay. And before I called, I went and took a picture of the meter, and I told her everything that was happening. And in the midst of all of that, that's when we figured out the technician had read the meter wrong, because I was like, wait, no, she mentioned, when I said how much I was on the meter at that point, she's like, wait, that's not matching with what the technician read, more than what you're showing. And I was like, wait, I have a picture of the day the technician left. I went out there and took a picture of it. And so she asked me to send the pictures to her. So I sent the pictures to her. She then, was trying to, help me out. And I was like, is there any way that I could like make an appointment to have one of the technicians actually come and talk to me, so I can explain the situation, so that way they can actually like look at the meter and like listen to me and, do that. So she ended up having to send it off to another department, but they were able to schedule a technician to come out. I was here. He was a very nice technician and was, explained everything to me. And I mean, as soon as he turned on the water and went back to the meter and saw the red dial just going, like it was about to fly off the meter. If the glass hadn't been on the top of the meter, it would have flown off the top of the meter. It was going that fast. And he even said that, he's like, it shouldn't be going that fast. And my neighbor came over, she and I were talking, and he was on the phone with, I guess, the meter department or meter people, I don't know, but they were talking about it. And he ended up digging up the meter. I had the wrong meter based on the line that I had, and he dug it up, put in a new meter, and since then my water bill previously was, 160, 180, 200. That August bill was $383. Absolutely ridiculous. And now the water bill is anywhere from $30 to $50. So $180 to $50. It's kind of, and all that change was a brand new meter was put into the ground. So it's been several months, because that happened at the end of September, where he dug it up and said he was going to take it to the meter shop, and he gave me the work order number and all of this, and I have yet to hear back from the city on anything that's going to happen. So I think earlier this month or the end of last month, I sent an email out to the customer service people, because at that point I just did not have time to talk to anybody on the phone or sit on hold. So I just sent an email out, gave them the work order number, explained everything that happened, listed the name of the customer service rep that I talked to, the one that I sent the pictures to, because I had her email address, so I knew her name. And they reviewed it, and they're like, they finally, I think last week, messaged me and said that the meter still had not been checked by the meter department, but they were escalating it, and going, because I'm like, I think I'm owed credits. Unfortunately, the city does not like to pay checks if they can just credit your account, which is not technically right, because if they are doing that, they should be paying me interest for holding on to that money. But that's a whole nother story, a whole nother thing that I don't even want to fight at this point. But I went in as I was doing my budget and everything. I'm like, wait a second, my water bill didn't come out. What's going on with this? So I logged into my account, and I'm going in there again because I've already logged out from earlier today. Oh, now you're not going to want to give me access. I log in, it says I don't have access to it. I click back and I'm logged in and I'm trying to get there. So I go into the account and I looked, and I can't move for the next 5 years. At least 5 to 6 years. Because they credited my account $3,420.84. That is how much I have overpaid on water since the meter was put in. So I don't have to pay water for the next 5 to 6 years. When I did the calculation of saying $50, doing the most that it could be, $50 for 12 months, that's $600. And then divided that, took the 3420 divided by 600, and it came up to 5.7 years. So it is resolved. I'm happy it's resolved. I honestly would prefer having the $3,000 in my pocket so I could pay out my debt and go back to just paying the water bill. But you know, that money that I was putting aside, like budgeting for water, I can go ahead and put towards summer bills, I guess. However, I think after this month with my summer bills, I have $675 in my summer bills sinking fund, and I think that will more than cover the summer bills. So I'm almost to the point where I'm like, we'll just put that extra $100 that I've been budgeting to debt, and yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. So honestly, I had one of the better, I don't know if it's because being in customer service or something like that. It's like I didn't pester them too much. I gave some time. I let things happen. Other people that have called to complain about their water bills and all of this stuff, they claim that they get nowhere, partly because they're probably calling when they're mad, and no CSR, and this is coming from someone that is in customer service, no CSR wants to be yelled at when it is not their fault that this is happening. I called, had all the research, all the data pulled up on like doing the 5-gallon bucket, doing all of this, and you know, doing all of that and explaining it and being calm the entire time and joking around with them and doing all of that. I honestly had like one of the best experiences with the city trying to get this resolved. And I mean, it's like I gave them all the information that they needed in that email, I mean, it helped that the technician gave me the work order number on the meter. So it's like they had all the information right there, and they resolved it fairly quickly once I sent an email on it. Again, I'd rather have the check than the credits, but I'm happy with this. You know, we all knew I was paying too high for water, and I finally called and said something's happened, and this is ridiculous because I did not use 16,000 gallons in August. There's no possible way that I used that amount of water at all, and it really is. So yeah, I consider myself very lucky that I was able to get this resolved. I mean, it wasn't quick, but I didn't pester them. Again, the meter was taken out in September, end of September. They did not give me the credits back until like this past week or something like that, because I went and looked a week or two ago, and it still said that I owed money towards them and I didn't have credits. So that's what's going on. I consider myself lucky. It's a nice little windfall. But it's just like how much I paid, $3,400, too much on water for too long, and didn't investigate it, partly because I didn't have the time to do it. And finally I was like, okay, I didn't have the time to do it at that point, but I finally was like, something has to happen. So yeah, that's what's happened on all of that. So I hope that everybody enjoyed this video. I am working on cleaning video for Sunday. I was able to get around to clean the front part of the house, but I have yet to make it to the back part of the house to clean. So it is Friday. I'm probably not going to get to the back part of the house in Sunday's video. I will just do the front part of the house. So I hope that you guys will join me on Sunday's video. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful week. Bye, everybody.